Hello and welcome to AI Tool Sneak Peek, our weekly series in which we show and tell some cool AI tool capabilities. Today's focus is going to be on something that's quite closer to my heart: how to retain what you read in books better with AI. AI tools have really made learning something quite convenient. These tools, be it ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, has made summarizing the large amount of text quite easy. And there is a school of thought that's emerging that I believe, in my belief, faultily believe that these tools, the summaries, or almost believable summaries that these tools produce, can replace or can slow down the effort that humans put on reading something. I do believe that in order to go deeper, which we'll require more of as a human beings, with AI getting infused into the various aspects of our life, we'll need to still spend time with books or with the literature that helps us give, uh, you know, uh, the comprehensive understanding of the topic that we are looking at. And when it comes to reading books, and as I've seen with my habits, there's always this challenge of figuring out uh, better ways to retain information that we read. In fact, there was a sketch that I made a long back, which says that human memory weakens over time. But in order to retain more, embrace spaced repetition. What is spaced repetition? It simply means that after we learn something, we should find ways to repeat the core concepts over a period of time for them to distill, for them to sort of occupy a sort of a permanent space in our brains. And that takes a lot of repetitions over a period of time. For example, there is one book that I recently picked up was this book known as The Age of AI. This book dates back to time before ChatGPT came in, around 2021. And that is one of the aspects that I wanted to learn on how AI was perceived when ChatGPT and the models that they followed, became more popular. And the second reason I picked up this book was I'm always admire Eric Schmidt's writings and whenever he speaks on technology, and that is something, and I wanted to get that perspective from this book. So how can I instill that aspect of spaced repetition with this book that I'm reading right now? So here I'm going to demo you a couple of steps that I normally take. Number one is with this tool called as Notebook LM, which is something which I've featured earlier also in AI Tools Sneak Peek. But we'll now look at a very different use case on retention, how this tool can help you retain better. For starters, Notebook LM is Google's tool, and Google had really reimagined the way we look at notes or do notes or take notes, keeping AI at the center. And more recently, Notebook LM has been upgraded with Gemini 2.0, Google's frontier model. I click on Try Notebook LM, and where it takes me is a screen that will load up now, and we let it load for a while. A screen like this, and I have to create a new notebook. I click on Create New, and for the purposes of demo, I've already set up some things. What I've really done here is I went to Add Source, and in the Upload Sources section, I chose File. I selected this option and selected the PDF version of the book which I had bought and fed it into Notebook LM. And this setup, and after you choose file, you just have to click OK, and the book starts to appear here. And what you can do after this, and what Notebook LM helps you do, is pretty. It's something that's quite powerful. So what I'm showing right now as in front of the screen is an interface of Notebook LM, and it's recently got upgraded into these three sort of tiered screen or a user interface. And what you really see on the middle tier is the book the summary about the book, what this book is about, the title, as well as the uh, interface in which I can chat about the book. But that's not what I'm going to show today. What I'm really going to show you today is something which is on the right hand side. So there are predefined templates in Notebook LM that can help us define some very useful material that can help um, create different kind of summaries. Okay, for example, I can click this option, which I'm highlighting right now on the right hand side, briefing doc. And as soon as I click this option, it starts with the process of creating a briefing doc. And for the purpose of demo, I had already created the briefing doc. And what I'm showing here right now is a briefing doc which tells about the core, or which helps us recollect the core concepts which are there in the book. Okay. What I can also do is to create a study guide. A study guide, how does a study guide look like? I'll just open a study guide example. What study guide really contains is a short answer quiz, which I can answer to retain the memory, which a memory about the book and stuff like that. So I can read through this time and again and try to recall and answering these questions. I can try to recall the stuff which is there in the book. I can also, go down and see essay type questions. I can also see glossary of key terms. I think all this is very useful to revisit every time I have to recall some of the concepts. But there is a friction in the process. So what is the friction here? The friction really is that every time I have to recall something, I have to come back, I have to remember to come back to Notebook LM and read the stuff. And how can we overcome this friction? And for that, I have a little hack that I want to show. So basically, what I'll do here is I have two types of docs that I can create out of the book that I showed. For example, I copy the whole of this stuff which is there, and I go to my Gmail and I just say compose an email. And what I do here is I copy this, and after I copy this, this whole uh, content of this study guide is here. I put myself as a recipient. And what I do is I just copy the title. And rather than sending this immediately to me, one of the hacks that I try and which worked for me is to schedule it for a future time. Okay. Which means this future time can be maybe 15 days later, for example. And this email, which I scheduled to reach me in 15 days time or 10 days time, can serves me a reminder that okay, this is the stuff that I need to spend time on and kind of crystallize the concept. Okay, so I can send this email to a future time and I receive it in the future time. I go here and say okay, study guide, 10 days after reading the book, I start to recall some of the answers to this question. It has an answer key also, whichever I cannot recall, I can go ahead and see the answer key, and I can attempt to read the or try and answer the essay questions, and I also relook at the glossary terms. And maybe I think 7 days after that, I again scheduled an email with the briefing doc, and what you see here is the briefing doc, which is here, and I received this email uh, you know 7 days after receiving the study guide, and I can start to read through it and help to recall stuff and also try to put things in perspective. As you can see, the whole concept of spaced repetition that I showed you, uh, Notebook LM as well as future scheduling of email can help us achieve pretty well. Okay, I hope you found something useful in this demo. I hope this actually augments your reading process and makes it more effective. And please do let me know how you found this demo, whether you tried it, how did it work for you in the comment section, or send me a message or an email. Um, Thank you so much for your time today. And we'll see you again next week. Until then, take good care of yourself. Bye bye.